Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda, and boy is it going to be a busy day today. I was up until 3 a.m. last night doing a lot of research for the content I'm about to present to you today. There are going to be a few videos today because I had to break down the content into different sections. From on this channel on Ignition Time today, you're about to learn number one, all the glaring problems with the $400 a week unemployment benefit extension from the president, what you must know. I'll do other videos on why the $400 a week is not really a federal unemployment benefits program. It's actually not. It's a completely separate program called the Lost Wages Program, and it could take months to implement, according to a leading unemployment benefits expert in the country. So there's that. Also, why the renter assistance program offers no eviction extension. In fact, it offers no money to help renters, and it's something that you should know because I read the entire eviction memorandum on the White House website. Finally, I'll talk to you about the fallout, specifically the hidden truth behind the 4 executive orders, reactions from Republicans and Democrats that have already started to come in, and what you must know. So with that being said, let's get started. Now, before I get into this, let me be clear. For me personally, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white and blue. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm American. So for me, that's what matters. So for me, the facts matter, and that's what I'm going to present to you, and you're free to make up your own mind about the information I'm going to give you on the Ignition Time channel. So let's get started. Number one, I'm going to go over a deeper analysis of the unemployment benefits extension in the executive order. Keep in mind, in this video, I'm talking about the glaring problems with the $400 a week unemployment benefit extension in the executive order that was signed by the president. So I'll give you a deeper analysis of the unemployment benefits extension in the executive order. Number two, I'll talk to you about some big glaring problems with the unemployment benefit extension in the executive order. And number three, I'll actually go over some specific language in the memorandum pertaining to this in the White House. Now, I believe that asking questions like, is this retroactive? Is it there's a difference between a memorandum and an executive order? How long the money is going to last? Those are actually the wrong questions to ask, and you'll see why when you go through this video. Oftentimes what you see and what is reality are usually two different things, and I'll let you decide what the truth is right here with the information I'm about to give you. Plus, I'll include links in the description section below if you want to check out some of the data that I'm presenting to you by yourself. Earlier this week, White House Senior Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow said, and I quote, "We have got to fix and extend the unemployment issue right now. I don't think that can be done administratively. I do not think that can be done administratively. I think that requires an act of Congress." That's what this White House Senior Economic Advisor said. Well, the president unilaterally extended unemployment benefit extensions yesterday. So you can see that, that was not consistent with what Larry Kudlow said. Now, there has been some initial feedback that started to come in. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he supports the president's 4 executive orders. He said, I quote, "Struggling Americans need action now." He said, "Since Democrats have sabotaged backroom talks with absurd demands that would not help working people, I support President Trump exploring his options to get unemployed benefits and other relief to the people who need them the most." So that was from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He supports the president's executive orders. Now, let's get into a much deeper analysis of the unemployment benefit extensions in the executive order. Now, this executive order uses approximately $44 billion with a B from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is FEMA, to cover $400 a week benefit for approximately 5 more weeks. That's what a lot of economists and a lot of policy experts have said. Now, 25% of that would come from states. So the federal component of that would be 75%. So what the executive order says is, on top of state UI benefits, you would get an additional $400 a week. But it's not going to last until December. Based on the allocation, which is about $45 billion, it's going to last for right around 5 weeks. Now, it is unclear, let's be clear, if the administration can actually repurpose these funds for unemployment benefits without violating something called the Anti-Deficiency Act, which is a federal budgeting law. I bet you haven't heard that anywhere. So again, whether the administration can actually do that is unclear. In the end, this may, and I say may because we're going to wait and see what happens in the end, this may end up becoming a largely symbolic measure, a political measure, a popularity measure, rather than actually resulting in money in the hands of people. Yep. And here's why. Michelle Evermore is a senior researcher and policy analyst at the National Employment Law Project, and now she wrote a paper called Unemployment Insurance During the Pandemic, the CARES Act and the Role of Unemployment Insurance During the Pandemic. She has testified in front of the Senate about various topics. One of them was unemployment insurance has been a critical lifeline during the pandemic. She actually wrote a paper about that. And this is someone who knows more about unemployment benefit extensions than you, than me, than President Trump, and more than Larry Kudlow, because she is an expert in this. In fact, you can look her up. Her name is Michelle Evermore. So I will link you to her testimony in front of the Senate in the description section below. So check that out, okay? Check it out. And I will tell you that she's the country's #1 expert on unemployment benefit extensions as far as I'm concerned. Some of the things that she wrote in her paper, just so that you know, were 30 million Americans have access to a transformative benefit. She's talking about a $600 a week federal booster, which she strongly advocated for. She said it had to be extended. She said this helps workers make ends meet. She said unemployment insurance has been a key economic stabilizer. It's helped people pay for food, pay for rent. It's helped people, keep their families intact. She said neglect of UI programs and systems has hindered their effectiveness in the crisis and implementation of the CARES Act programs. The Department of Labor must issue complete and accurate guidance about workers' rights to refuse to return to unsafe work. If it fails to do so, Congress must act. So now you can clearly see what Michelle Evermore is advocating for, and I'm sure a lot of you who are watching understand. Again, look her up, Michelle Evermore, okay? Congress must reauthorize the pandemic unemployment compensation program in response to the exponential growth in unemployment. That's what she wrote. And also she talked about unemployment benefits, the fact that they're making a profoundly positive impact on workers and families throughout the country. So that's what she talks about. So here is the glaring problem with the unemployment benefit extensions in the executive order. These executive actions on unemployment, what they do is they take money from one program and they put it into another. So it doesn't really put additional money into the unemployment program. It technically does not even increase federal unemployment benefits, according to Michelle Evermore, but it instead creates a new program. And if you look at the language in the memorandum closely, it says lost wages assistance program. Go ahead, check out the memorandum. I'll link to it in the description below, the official memorandum from the White House website. Okay, it talks about a lost wages assistance program. This is not adding more money into the federal unemployment benefits program. This is technically not even an addition to the federal unemployment benefits program. Now, this lost wages program is something that states will have to set up from scratch, according to Michelle. And she said it could take months for such an effort to get off the ground. Yes, you heard that right, months. Evermore said that states are already overwhelmed trying to set up the unemployment insurance programs, trying to pay out the federal booster. You know exactly what I'm talking about, especially if you're in states like California and Florida. So now how do you take a state that's A, struggling to pay out unemployment benefits, B, backlogged, C, dealing with fraud, and then on top of that expect them to set up a new lost wages assistance program? If you can read between the lines, you'll understand that, and I'll cover this in a bit more detail. If these unemployment benefits are not paid out, what if individuals blame the states, and then the president and the administration say, hey, wait a minute, we passed the order, it's not on us. So you can see that this is setting up essentially this is sort of kicking the can to the states in many ways. And if states can't keep up, by the way, states are already overloaded, underfunded. Have some consideration for the states, guys. If states are completely overloaded and the federal government says, whoop, it's not my fault, it's the state's fault, this can actually create more problems, more stress, more anxiety, more frustration, and this will, the administration can shift blame away from them. So that's what's going on over here. So it could take months. Now the Trump administration cannot even call it unemployment insurance since it's a whole other program. And this is what Michelle Evermore writes now. And she also wrote on her Twitter feed, and this surprised me when I read this. She wrote, I quote, initially I was concerned about how to run this program through UI, meaning unemployment insurance. How can it exist within the confines, within the construct, within the framework of the unemployment benefits program? Now I'm just concerned about how to run it. That's what she wrote. Even outside of UI, this is also from her Twitter feed. Even outside of UI, this has the good state, bad state problem. If it is even possible for states to set up this new parallel program, the states that can do it quickly will use up the money, because remember, some states are going to be more efficient at setting this up than others. Some states, and she said many states or most states, won't be able to do it, and this will exacerbate inequality. This will actually make the inequality worse. And as you know, there's a lot of inconsistency and inequality. There's a lot of fraud. happening in the unemployment benefit system. There's already that, so this doesn't actually answer that. This actually probably makes the whole situation much worse. You're not adding money to the federal unemployment program, you're creating a separate lost wages assistance program. Read the memorandum carefully, all of you. Now, before all of you type out questions in the comments below, read the memorandum carefully, please, because this impacts over 30 million individuals. Now, Michelle also wrote, I seriously have been running through all I know about UI and cannot figure out a single legal way to increase it through executive order. In other words, because President Trump has not been able to find a legal way by way of executive order within the confines of presidential power to extend federal unemployment benefits, they've essentially diverted money from one area, from FEMA, approximately $45 billion, into what's called as a lost wages assistance program, which will then be tapped into. It's actually grant money that's given to the states, and then states come up with other money, and I'll get into a little bit more detail about that, to then pay out these unemployment benefits. So that's where things stand right now. And Michelle also wrote, states can only pay benefits authorized under federal law. In theory, that could set up a whole parallel payment system outside of UI, but I don't know how states can do that. States are usually given a couple of years to conform to something of that magnitude. Now you can understand how complex this is going to be, and I hope this makes sense. Now, I hope you learned something new in this video. I'm going to in the next video, I'm going to talk to you about the language in the White House website, the language in the actual memorandum that's going to give you a clear understanding, a clear analysis of where this money is going to come from. And that's very, very, very important for you to understand, because based on that, you'll be able to say to yourself, whoa, is this actually feasible? And you can decide for yourself. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to release the next video. Make sure you look out for it. If you learned something new in this video, please click like. Also, if you want to subscribe, you'll get instant alerts, and make sure to enable the notifications button. If you do want to get added to our list for breaking news alerts for information about future information we might release, please get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000. Again, the word ignition or the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and we'll be sure to add you to our breaking news list, and you can opt out at any time. You can also get emails from us. As long as you agree to a disclaimer, you can opt out at any time. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. My goal is to give you the facts, and you can make the decisions for yourself. In the next video, I'll go over some of the language in the White House memorandums pertaining to these unemployment benefit extensions, and we'll dissect that, and we'll look at the differences between CRF, which is the Pandemic Relief Fund. C stands for, the illness, and DRF, which is the Homeland Security's Disaster Relief Fund, and we'll see how money from the CRF and the DRF goes to pay for these unemployment benefit extensions, and how the money is actually going to run out in approximately 5 weeks. I'll talk to you about that in the next video. I will see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Bye.